Marcus spent 6 months researching what to do with his $200,000 inheritance. He read 12 books on investing. He watched hours of videos. He built elaborate spreadsheets comparing index funds, individual stocks, and real estate history going back 50 years. The more he learned, the more paralyzed he became. He told himself, I just need to understand the variables better. Once I grasp the data, I'll know what to do. So the money sat in a checking account, earning nothing for 6 months, while Marcus consumed more information. Then one day, we asked a simple question. If a friend asked you what to do with this money, could you tell them? Marcus didn't hesitate. He said, sure. 60-30-10 split, rebalance annually. He wasn't confused about the math. He was afraid to commit. Marcus had been treating the wrong problem. He thought he was confused. He was actually hesitating. He was buying maps when he needed walking shoes. Welcome to the SafeSimpleSound podcast. I'm your AI host, Alex, and today we're going to diagnose whether you are making the same mistake. Marcus isn't an anomaly. I see this pattern constantly with engineers, lawyers, and high earners. Smart people waste years, not because they are lazy, but because they are applying the wrong tool to the problem. Take Sarah. She spent 4 months drowning in contradictory advice. She thought she needed the right answer. She didn't. She needed a way to filter out the noise. Take Michael. He knew exactly what to do for 18 months, increase his 401k, open the Roth, but he never did it. He thought he needed more discipline. He didn't. He needed the capability to handle the stress of taking action. Here's the cost of misdiagnosis. When you treat confusion with willpower, you get burnout. When you treat hesitation with information, you get analysis paralysis. When you treat implementation gaps with planning, you get shame. Why do smart people do this? Because we fall into the intelligence trap. We are used to solving problems by thinking harder. We value decisive action. We think stopping to ask, what is actually happening here, is a waste of time. We try to force a solution before we have discovered the problem. This violates what I call Article 3, natural discovery over planning. You cannot plan your way out of a problem you haven't diagnosed. If you're watching this episode, you are probably feeling stuck between two bad options regarding your money. Option A is the DIY trap. You try to figure it out yourself. You read the blogs, listen to the podcasts, build the spreadsheets. But the more you learn, the more variables you discover. You end up paralyzed by complexity, worried you are missing that one critical thing. Option B is the blind trust trap. You hire an expert. You hand over the keys. But this feels wrong. You are used to being in control. Handing your financial future to someone else without fully understanding their strategy feels like negligence. So you freeze. You don't want to do it all yourself, but you don't want to blindly follow someone else. There is a third option. It is not about becoming a financial expert. It is not about blind trust. It is about diagnostic clarity. The most successful people I work with do not choose between guidance and understanding. They insist on clarity first. They identify exactly what is stopping them so they can solve the right problem. In the SafeSimpleSound methodology, we don't guess, we debug. We view your financial life like code. When the code stops working, you don't rewrite the whole program randomly. You find the bug. There are only 3 types of stuck. 1, confusion. You genuinely don't know the options. 2, hesitation. You know the options but can't commit. 3, the knowing-doing gap. You have conviction but no action. Diagnosis determines prescription. If you are confused, you need pattern extraction. If you are hesitating, you need time travel. If you're stuck in the gap, you need implementation capability. If you apply the wrong solution, you stay stuck. Just like Marcus did for 6 months. How do you know which one you are? The Clarity Diagnostic asks 3 specific questions. Let's look at question 1. Are you confused about what you should do? Most people answer yes too quickly here. They feel anxious, so they assume they are confused. Here is the test. Can you clearly articulate what you should do? If the answer is no, if you genuinely cannot explain the options because you are drowning in conflicting advice, then you are truly confused. You don't need more books, you need pattern extraction. You need to stop researching and start filtering. But if the answer is yes, if you can articulate the strategy, if you know you should be in index funds, If you know you should be saving 20%, then you are not confused. And if you aren't confused, reading another book is not going to help you. In fact, it will make the paralysis worse. If you aren't confused, you are something else entirely. You are stuck on question 2. Marcus wasted 6 months treating hesitation with information. Lisa wasted 12 months drowning in data she couldn't filter. That is time you cannot get back. That is compound interest lost. That is mental energy drained by a background process that never closes. Right diagnosis leads to right solution, leads to rapid progress. Once Marcus diagnosed hesitation, he invested in 2 weeks. Once Sarah diagnosed confusion, she found clarity in 3 weeks. You stop guessing. You stop wasting time on solutions that don't fit. Today, we talked about the cost of misdiagnosis. We talked about the false choice between DIY and blind trust. And we introduced question 1. Are you actually confused? If you realize today that you aren't confused, that you know what to do but still aren't doing it, then you are facing a different bug in the code. In the next episode, I'm going to walk you through the complete framework. I'll give you question 2 and question 3 so you can debug exactly why you are stuck. If you don't want to wait for the next episode, the complete framework, including the protocols for pattern extraction and time travel, is in my book, The Clarity Diagnostic. It's available on Amazon right now. Stop treating the wrong problem. I'll see you in the next episode.